Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be starting our 2-week escapade into trigonometry. And so this is going to be a more theoretical trigonometry than what you're used to in the standard Year 10 class. So to start that, we're going to be looking at how we convert between radians and degrees and introducing exactly what radians are. So hopefully you have already read the link that I sent you on Friday. If you haven't, please just go to your email, have a read of that. There's a link at the end of this PowerPoint as well, but reading through that, I guess it's like a kind of essay kind of thing, explaining the history of degrees and radians. It's really good in allowing you to understand it. So before you get started, I'd like you to have a look at these 9 functions and these 9 formulae. And so these are not in order, they need to be matched up. Okay, so there is nothing here that you have not already learnt so far this term. So you should be able to figure out which of these functions matches each of these formulae. If you're having any issues with that, please let me know. Okay, so if you've paused it, kind of work out these questions, we can move on. Okay, so as you would have read in the essay, degrees are an arbitrary measurement of parts of a circle. There is actually no relationship between 360 and a circle. It's a purely arbitrary number. And when we use arbitrary numbers for a natural, I guess it's a science study, like mathematics, you tend to miss a lot of stuff. So we needed to come up with a method that a measurement which more naturally represents the angles of circles. And so the only measurement that you have of a circle is its radius. So what we've come up with is the radian, which is the distance of the radius along the circumference and the angle that makes. So as you can see in this diagram that's happening over here, there are pi radians to 180, and there are 2 pi radians to a full circle. So what this works out to be is that 1 radian is 180 divided by pi. If you would like to work that out in your head, I think it's around about 55-ish degrees, something like that. That's not particularly important. The 180 over pi is a good conversion rate. Okay, so we have a couple of examples. So we need to work out pi over 8, this is a radians. We need to work what this is in degrees. So we multiply it by 180 divided by pi. This is a conversion rate from radians to degrees. So it's pi over 8 times 180 over pi. So what we can do is we can cross out these 2 pi's, because these 2 pi's cancel each other out, and then we get 180 over 8. Plug that into your calculator, and we get 22.5. Done. Now, in order to calculate, turn degrees into radians, we have 24 degrees. And in order to go from degrees to radians, we need to multiply by pi over 180. So 24 times pi over 180 is 24 pi over 180. So if we cancel this out, the simplest we can make 24 over 180 is 2 over 15. And so if you really want to, you can just divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, keep going like that until you get as simple as you possibly can. So we get 2 pi over 15. So 2 pi over 15 is 24 degrees in radians. Okay. Now we've got some pretty common radian measurements. So it's important that you guys know 0, 90, 180, and 270, as well as 360. So these 4. But it can be good to know some of the others. So 45 degrees is pi over 4, which if you know that 90 degrees is pi over 2, you should be able to work out that 45 is pi over 4. So 6, 4, 3. So you should be able to not know all of these, but some of these are good to know. Okay, so with some feedback from a couple of students, I've made a worksheet on eLearn, and I will show you that in a second. So the exercises are going to be on that worksheet rather than on the PowerPoint. So if you have not yet, read this essay and then write a paragraph explaining why there are 360 degrees in a circle and how using radians is different from using degrees. Okay, so you can use, so the reading part is going through this and extracting the important information, and then the writing part is this over here. So this is a reading and a writing task in one. So if we then go to, I'll move this up here. This is the lesson that we've just gone through, worksheet lesson 1. Okay, and if you want, you can download it. I've got the radian conversion here. So what I want you to do, I want you to convert the radians into degrees and the degrees into radians. Okay, and just complete those. And that is all for today's lesson. Tomorrow we'll be moving on to sinuous waves. Okay, best of luck.